Well, it is the Super Bowl, not the Super Bowl, so I say we get into the game.
Let's talk to Luke in Mansfield. How are you, Luke?
I'm great. How are you guys doing?
Good, thanks.
Hey, thanks for taking my call.
Of course.
We've all perused the excruciating minutia of the football issue or the inflation issue. I'd like to talk about defense to defense. Our defensive line, I'm going to be watching them to contain Russell Wilson because he's obviously a great scrambler, and if they can keep him in the pocket, I think we're going to do a hell of a lot better. And the other issue I look at for our defense to take care of is containing their power running back Lynch. If our guys can do those two things, obviously there are many other facets to the game, but if our guys can do those two things, I think we're going to have a much easier day. I think our passing games are similar. Both quarterbacks can throw the ball and hit very, very well received, skilled receivers, as is the defense. We have Revis. They have that Sherman guy. I think we're all pretty well matched up. I think it's going to be a battle of the defenses.
All right, Luke, I appreciate your thoughts. Here's where we part ways a little bit. We certainly agree stopping the running game is a priority. That should go without saying. The Patriots have to contain, to the best of their ability, not only Marshawn Lynch, but Russell Wilson, who, as we know, is very fleet of foot. These two guys this year, Lynch went for 1,300 yards, 13 scores on the ground. He was also pretty good in terms of just being an all-purpose guy. Caught a whole bunch of yards and touchdowns there as well. But Wilson rushed for nearly 900 yards and got into the end zone 6 times on foot. The Hawks led the NFL during the regular season at 172 rushing yards per game. 194 last weekend against Green Bay, even though that feels like a million years ago. Lynch had 157 yards. So it's kind of funny to think about as compared to the Colts and how you prepare for one team versus another. But the reality is the Patriots, in terms of trying to win this game, talking specifically about the defense, force the pass. You got to try and force the pass and keep Russell Wilson in the pocket. Don't let him scramble. That's when things fell apart for the Packers. Don't let Lynch get off. You know, do you have confidence in Rob Ninkovich and Jamie Collins and Dante Hightower and all these guys? Well, you hope so, obviously. And the Patriots were not a bad team defensively against the ground game. Inconsistent, maybe. But looking at this, all right, the Patriots ranked 9th in the NFL this year. 104 yards allowed on the ground per game. Over their last 10 games, that dipped to 85. Now, granted, they didn't face anyone this season that resembled Marshawn Lynch. I get that. But I do think the Patriots, if they can slow down Wilson, who does not have, you know, our last caller there just talked about the similarities in the offense and the passing game. We definitely disagree about that. Tom Brady has far more offensive weapons to work with than Russell Wilson does in terms of the passing game. Wilson's looking at guys like Doug Baldwin and Jermaine Kearse and Luke Wilson. These are guys that the Patriots defense should be able to contain and avoid in terms of Wilson beating them in the air. We know how good the Patriots secondary is. The question is, can the Pats slow down Lynch? That is obviously going to be the priority in this game. I look at it. I look at this whole game, and what frightens me a little bit is obviously the feel for Seattle coming into this one. The Seahawks barely squeaked by. They were lucky to squeak by the Packers with that overtime win. They overcame 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions by Russell Wilson, far and away the worst game of his professional career. Even collegiate or high school career, he was never that bad in a game. And to come back from down 16 points at halftime, to win that game, to me, you have some Patriots fans looking at that game and saying, wow, maybe they won't be so tough. I am totally on the opposite side of that. I look at that win and say they're tougher. Pete Carroll is going to have been, I'm sure he has been, reaming his team out for the last week saying, you're lucky to be here. You're not that good based on that performance. You can't play like that again against the Patriots. They are not going to come out and have another game anything like what they had against Green Bay against New England because he is going to beat the crap out of them for 2 weeks. Physically, emotionally, whatever it is. That team is going to come out. Seahawks don't turn the ball over. They turn the ball over 14 times in 17 games this year prior to that 5-turnover game. They forced turnovers. 29 this year. That's their game. Defense is their game. Is Brady's offense good enough to beat that defense? Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas, and all of these guys. Very, very difficult matchup, and it's sad that we've spent so little time talking about it, quite frankly. And hopefully over the course of the next week that will change. But there's all the reason in the world to be concerned about this, and people will not be taking the Seahawks for granted in the same way that most of us, I certainly did, took the Colts for granted. Let's go to Mike in Smithfield. How are you, Mike?
How you doing?
Good.
Hey, I'm wondering, all these people that say they don't really care for us and they don't like us, I think they got to be this new generation of Patriot fans because I'm old school. I grew up with Steve Grogan and stuff like that at Bryan College. You know what I'm saying? I'm old school. I'm 57 years old. I'm so tired of hearing, oh, the people don't like us. They got to be the younger generation because they haven't been through the seasons that we didn't win. We won 2 games. 3 games. And I'm just so tired of hearing about, they hate us. You know what? We don't need them. They're not real, true Patriot fans. I guarantee if you took a poll, those people that hate us.
Well, Mike, it's not